Think about the exact moment you woke up yesterday. Like
Yeah.
right in that tiny space between hitting the snooze button and, pouring your first cup of coffee.
Oh, yeah, that blurry sort of in-between state.
Exactly. What if, hidden right there in that tiny space, there was magic you just couldn't see?
Right, because you're just not looking for it yet.
Yeah. The author and Celtic folk musician Charles DeLint once wrote this amazing thing. He said, "That's the thing with magic. You've got to know it's still here, all around us, or it just stays invisible for you."
That is such a perfect quote for today.
It really is. So today, we are learning how to make the invisible, well, visible. Welcome to a very special deep dive. Today is actually the series finale of our daily analysis of this 28-day journey.
We made it.
We did. And our mission today is to cross the finish line of day 28, which is called Remember the Magic. Over the past 27 chapters, you've been on this highly structured sprint.
Very structured, like intense.
Right. You've explored tools for your health, your career, your relationships, your finances. But today, we made a critical transition. We are moving from a 28-day intensive program into a lifelong sustainable practice.
And it really is the perfect encapsulation of what day 28 is trying to achieve. Because if you think about it from a purely logical standpoint, every single day you experience is entirely unique.
Yeah, no 2 days are exactly the same.
Exactly. There is literally no day exactly like any other day. The events, the interactions, the tiny little moments of grace, the forever changes.
So you can't just rely on yesterday's magic.
No, you can't. And what today's final practice is designed to do is give you the most powerful ongoing tool to maintain the visibility of that magic, like you said earlier.
To keep your eyes open to it.
Right. Regardless of what your specific desires are right now, or, what completely new desires you might develop 10 or 20 or 30 years down the line, the source builds this as the foundational practice for your entire life.
Out for your entire life.
Yeah. It is the mechanism that ensures the magic never becomes invisible again.
Okay, let's unpack this mechanism. Because if the goal is to make the magic visible, you need a highly specific method to actually spot it. And that brings us to the absolute core of practice number 28.
The mental review.
Exactly. The mental review of your previous day. But it's not just sitting there trying to recount every single thing you did chronologically, like you're giving testimony in court or something.
Right. That would be exhausting.
It would. I like to think of it as scrolling back through a mental DVR. You grab the remote, you rewind all the way back to the exact moment you woke up yesterday morning, and you press play.
But you're scanning, right?
Yeah, you're just skimming. You're scanning the surface of the morning, then the afternoon, then the evening, right up until the moment your head hit the pillow.
And a crucial distinction the text makes here is the amount of friction involved in that scan. This shouldn't feel like a heavy cognitive load.
It's not a test.
Exactly. It shouldn't feel like hard work or some grueling memory test. It's described in the source as an effortless scan.
Effortless. I love that word for this.
Yeah, and from a psychological perspective, the mechanism that makes it effortless is simply asking yourself one incredibly focused prompt, which is, what are the good things that happened yesterday?
Just that one question.
Just that. When you ask your brain a specific question, its natural operating system immediately goes to work looking for the answer.
Right. It's essentially leveraging the reticular activating system, the RAS in your brain. Your brain is essentially a massive search engine.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah, so when you type in good things, your RAS filters out the negative noise. The traffic jams, the burnt toast, the annoying email.
All the stuff you don't want to focus on.
Exactly. And it hits you with the results you actually asked for. As you scan the surface of yesterday with that specific question in mind, the blessings are supposed to just bubble right up to the surface.
Precisely. You are directing your attention deliberately. And to help you calibrate that search engine, the source provides a fantastic, rapid-fire list of prompt questions.
Just to give you an idea of what to look for.
Yeah, to show you just how wide a net you should be casting. It's not just about looking for massive, life-altering events like winning the lottery or getting a promotion.
Right. It asks you to look for things like, did you get some great news?
Or did you miraculously receive unexpected money?
Did you hear from an old friend you haven't spoken to in ages?
Did a particular situation go magnificently well?
Or even simpler things like, did you eat your absolute favorite food?
Oh, that is definitely a blessing.
Right. I mean, a great taco is a highly underrated blessing. Did someone help you solve a problem?
Did you finish a project?
Or did you just sit down and watch a really great movie?
Yeah.
It's showing you the sheer variety of what qualifies as a good thing so that your brain doesn't, filter out the small wins while looking for the big ones.
And once those good things start bubbling up, the execution of this practice is very deliberate. For today, day 28, you are instructed to list these blessings out.
Put them on paper.
Yeah, you can write them on a computer or write them out by hand in a journal. As you remember each one, you say the magic words, thank you, in your mind or out loud.
But it changes after today.
Yeah, it does. Moving forward after today, the text offers you a lot of flexibility. You don't always have to write them down. You can just do the mental DVR scan, say them out loud while you're commuting in your car, or just hold them in your mind.
Okay, but for today, the final day, you are physically writing down a list of 10.
Right. 10 written blessings.
Which, by the way, brings us to a towering milestone in the text that we absolutely have to celebrate.
Oh, this is the best part.
It is. If you complete today's standard 10 blessing list, do you realize what you've accomplished? Over the course of this 28-day journey, you have written down exactly 280 blessings.
280.
Think about that. 280 highly specific things you are genuinely grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
That is a massive psychological foundation you've built over the last 4 weeks.
It's incredible. Oh, and a quick technical note. The source also gives a reminder to do the magic rock practice tonight, right before sleep.
Ah, yes. The rock.
Yeah, which, if you remember, involves holding a specific rock or object and saying thank you for the single best thing that happened today.
It acts as an anchor for the end of the day. Right. Just as counting your blessings anchors the beginning. It frames your entire conscious experience from waking to sleeping in gratitude.
Exactly.
Okay, so I hear you on the effortless scan and the bubbling blessings, but I have to push back here.
Okay, go for it.
I want to represent the skeptical listener for a second. What if someone just had a genuinely devastating day yesterday?
Yeah, that happens.
Like, what if they got laid off, or they're going through a brutal breakup, or they received terrible health news? Telling someone in the middle of a crisis to just, effortlessly scan for blessings kind of borders on toxic positivity.
I see where you're going with this.
So how does the source reconcile this practice with actual undeniably bad days?
That is a very real, very important question. And the text does address this, and we can look at it through the lens of psychological resilience.
Okay, how so?
Well, the rules of the source clarified that this practice is not about the size of the blessings, nor is it about denying the reality of your pain.
So you're not pretending the bad stuff didn't happen.
Exactly. It's not about finding 10 monumental events when your world is falling apart. It's about how many blessings you can find and the depth of the gratitude you can muster for them, regardless of scale.
So it's more about shifting your baseline.
Exactly. If your day was an absolute disaster, maybe the blessing was simply that you managed to make a decent cup of coffee and sit in silence for 5 minutes.
Right.
Maybe the blessing is the fact that you took a few deep breaths, or simply that the terrible day is now over and you survived it. Big or small, it's about opening your eyes to the truth that every single day, no matter how dark it seems, has hidden gifts. Yeah. If you can find gratitude on the hardest days, you aren't practicing toxic positivity. You are utilizing gratitude as an emotional anchor. You are actively preventing yourself from drowning in the negative.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's not ignoring the storm. It's finding the lifeboat.
Yes, exactly that.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Because now that the 28 days are over and you've built this incredibly solid foundation of 280 blessings, the big question is, how do you keep the whole building from collapsing?
Right. What's the maintenance plan?
Yeah, it's exactly like finishing an intense 30-day fitness boot camp. You've built all this muscle, your endurance is peaking, you feel great, but you don't just walk out of the gym on day 31, sit on the couch forever, and expect to keep those results.
Unfortunately not.
Right. You have to shift from a strict, punishing daily routine into a sustainable weekly maintenance routine. You have to keep building floors on the foundation you just laid.
And what's fascinating here is how the source frames gratitude. It doesn't view it as a temporary fix or like a short-term diet for your mind. It frames it as an infinite tool.
Infinite.
Yeah. It literally says you can use it to touch the stars. To emphasize this, the author introduces a profound quote from Johannes A. Gertner, a theologian and poet.
What did he say?
He said, "To speak gratitude is courteous and pleasant. To enact gratitude is generous and noble, but to live gratitude is to touch heaven."
To live gratitude. Wow.
Right. The shift we are talking about today is moving from enacting gratitude as a daily chore to living it as a baseline state of being. And to help you do that, the text provides a very specific architectural blueprint for your future.
Outlining exactly what to do next.
Yes, detailing how many days a week you should practice to achieve different results.
Okay, let's walk you through those scheduled tiers because the compounding benefits of each tier are pretty wild. So the baseline level is 3 days a week.
Just 3 days.
Yeah, dude, remember the magic, this mental DVR scan we just discussed? 3 days a week? Or perhaps combining it with 2 other practices you learned, like magical relationships one day and magic money another.
And that's just the maintenance tier, right?
Exactly. That keeps your current foundation strong and keeps your life getting steadily better without overwhelming your schedule.
But if you bump that up to 4 days a week, the source says you not only maintain your foundation, but you actually accelerate the magic.
Accelerate it.
Yeah, the momentum shifts. You are now spending more days of the week actively cultivating gratitude than you are coasting, which tips the scales in favor of continuous positive growth.
And then there's the 5 days a week tier. If you commit to remember the magic, plus 4 other practices across 5 days, the text claims this will dramatically increase your happiness and the magic in literally every area and circumstance of your life.
Dramatic increases.
Across the board.
Yeah.
Because you are essentially rewiring your brain's default mode network to scan for the positive on a near-daily basis.
Which brings us to the ultimate tier. 6 to 7 days a week.
The big one.
The big one. If you incorporate Remember the Magic or any other practices every single day, the text makes a remarkably bold claim. It says you will become a true alchemist who can turn everything into gold.
True alchemist. Let's deepen that metaphor for a second, because that could easily sound like just a nice poetic phrase.
It's more than that, yeah.
Right. In historical terms, an alchemist was someone trying to turn base metals, like lead, into precious ones, like gold. Here, the implication is psychological and physiological.
Exactly. We are talking about emotional transmutation.
Emotional transmutation.
Yeah, you are taking the mundane base materials of a normal Tuesday, like the heavy lead-like feelings of frustration in traffic, the anxiety of unread emails, the exhaustion of running errands, and transmuting them into something deeply valuable and golden through the sheer force of constant gratitude.
It's literally changing your chemistry.
It is. When you choose gratitude in a stressful moment, you are quite literally changing your body's physiological response. You are lowering cortisol and increasing dopamine. You are chemically turning a toxic experience into a positive, or at least neutral one. That is modern-day alchemy.
So what does this all mean if you're listening to this right now in your car or on a walk, and you're thinking, well, general maintenance is great, but my bank account is currently on fire?
Or my relationship is falling apart.
Right. Like, my marriage is going through a massive rough patch. What if you have a specific crisis or a massive immediate goal in one particular area of your life right now? The text actually gives us exact prescriptions for highly targeted, area-specific results.
Right. The author hasn't just given you 28 random exercises to pull from a hat. They have curated specific practice clusters. And there is a strict rule to follow if you want to target a specific area.
Which is?
You must follow the relevant area's recommendations for a minimum of 3 weeks, doing each listed practice once a week.
Why 3 weeks? Like, why that specific number?
Because 3 weeks, or 21 days, is widely recognized in behavioral psychology as the minimum threshold for habit formation and beginning to establish new neural pathways.
Ah, the 21-day rule.
Exactly. It requires a sustained, focused beam of gratitude over 21 days to fundamentally shift your psychological relationship and the energy of that specific area. Though I must add a critical caveat directly from the text here.
Okay, let's hear it.
If you are physically unwell, the health practices should not just be done once a week. The author insists they should be done every single day, or even multiple times a day, to accelerate the mindset of healing.
Got it. Okay, let's analyze these specific clusters. Notice how the source strategically groups these practices together. Let's start with relationships.
Yeah, a big one for a lot of people.
Yeah. So if you're stressed about your marriage or a rift with a family member, the cluster is magical relationships, magic dust, everyone.
Which, remember, is expressing silent gratitude for people who provide a service or help you.
Right. Then it's magically heal your relationships, the magic wand, the magic mirror, and of course, remember the magic.
And if your focus is health, like if you need physical vitality or are recovering from an illness, the prescribed cluster is magical health, magic dust everyone, magic, And miracles in health?
The magical air that you breathe.
Yes, the magical air that you breathe, the magic wand, and again, remember the magic. Notice how it combines internal biological gratitude with environmental gratitude, like the air you breathe.
That's a great point.
Oh,
Finally, the one a lot of people are probably waiting for, money.
oh yes.
If you want to increase abundance and tackle financial anxiety, the specific cluster to cycle through for 3 weeks is magic money. The money magnet, the magic check.
The magic wand, the magic mirror, and remember the magic.
Exactly. Now, what's fascinating about this specific money cluster is the underlying strategy. It doesn't just ask you to be grateful for the cash in your wallet.
It goes way deeper than that.
It does. It groups the magic check, which is entirely about visualizing future wealth and external abundance, with the magic mirror, which is about looking at yourself and affirming your inherent self-worth.
Yes.
It is attacking financial anxiety from both external visualization and internal self-esteem.
It's a very sophisticated psychological pairing. Now, when utilizing these lists, there are a few crucial technical caveats hidden in the text that you need to be aware of to execute them properly.
Right. There are very specific notes attached to 2 of these practices. First, the magic wand practice, which you'll remember is where you actively visualize directing positive energy and intention towards someone else's specific need.
Right.
The text explicitly points out that you can use this practice on people you actually know by looking at their photographs. But you can also use it on people you don't know, and you obviously don't need photographs for them.
So it's incredibly versatile.
Very. And the second caveat is for the money magnet practice. The source says that if you haven't done it before, you absolutely must complete all the steps at least once. But if you are repeating the practice, which you would be if you're doing this weekly maintenance, you are allowed to take a shortcut and jump straight to step 4.
That shortcut is important because it shows that the system is designed to become more streamlined as you become more experienced. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every time you repeat a practice.
You've already paved the road.
Exactly. Your brain already knows the pathway. You just have to activate it.
You know, looking at all 3 of those lists, relationships, health, and money, there is a glaring pattern here.
The repeats?
Yes. Remember, the magic, which is today's mental DVR practice, and the magic wand, appear in every single category's recommendation list.
They do.
They are the ultimate multi-tools. No matter what crisis you are trying to fix or what goal you are trying to enhance, looking back at yesterday's blessings and waving a metaphorical wand of goodwill toward others are the universal skeleton keys.
That's because they address the 2 fundamental directions of human attention.
Backward and forward.
Exactly. Remember, the magic directs your attention backward. It heals your relationship with the past, ensuring you extract the value and the lessons from what has already happened.
Right.
On the other hand, the magic wand directs your positive intention outward and forward toward others and the future. By combining them, you avoid getting stuck in self-rumination.
You're not just staring at your own navel.
Right. Together, they keep your mind entirely grounded in abundance, both internally and externally.
It really is brilliant when you look at the architecture of it. And that brings us to the wrap-up of our series finale. The overarching message you should take away from this deep dive is that the past 28 days, that was just the scaffolding.
That's the beginning.
Yeah. It was the hard, structured, daily work required to get the building off the ground. But the real building, the like you are actually constructing, happens starting tomorrow.
Tomorrow is when the real test begins.
Exactly. It happens when no one is telling you to read a chapter, when you don't have this deep dive guiding you, and you have to choose whether you're going to do a 3-day maintenance schedule or if you're going to go for the full 7-day alchemy and try to transmute your entire life into gold.
This raises an important question, though. It points to a profound psychological shift that occurs when a practice stops being something you do and starts being a habit that simply runs in the background.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Right.
Yes. We've spent this entire finale talking about scanning yesterday to remember the magic, sitting down, looking backward, and pulling out the good things. But I want you to ponder something as you walk away from this 28-day journey and step out into your magical future.
What's the thought?
If you practice scanning yesterday often enough, like if you diligently rewind that mental DVR 3, 5, or 7 days a week, does your brain eventually rewire itself so completely that you no longer have to wait until tomorrow to spot the blessings?
It's the ultimate neuroplasticity question.
Right. Do you start catching the magic in real time before the day is even over? Because if you train your brain's search engine to constantly look for good things in the past, eventually it's going to start noticing them the exact second they happen.
It becomes automatic.
Exactly. The traffic jam won't even register as a frustration before you notice the beautiful sunset happening right outside your windshield. What happens when remembering the magic simply becomes living the magic?
That is the ultimate goal of the entire source material. To reach a state where the magic is no longer invisible, not even for a fraction of a second.
That is something to truly chew on. From both of us, a massive, warm congratulations to you for finishing this daily chapter analysis series. You put in the work, you laid the foundation, and now the rest of the building is entirely up to you. Keep your eyes open, keep your magic rock close, and never stop looking for the good things. Goodbye, and thank you.